Sea Kayaking. Today we're on a trail, a training trail, hiking. We're doing about 15-16 miles, big circular, no big deal, but we're training for an event early next month, in early February, the high coast up in Sweden, up in the snow. So we've got our full packs on, full weight, carrying quite a bit of weight as well. We're going to have snowshoes with snow shovels and all the rest of it, plus extra clothing and food for the trail. So big pack, and I'm carrying it's a lot of weight. Okay, so you ultralighters, don't take the piss. I know you're all ultralight, I get it, but for us, comfortable in camp all day long. So I'm carrying about, with water and food, about 19 kilos. That's all in. So having said that, one of the important things we're going to talk about today are poles and the use of trekking poles. Now, I'm not talking about reviewing, we're not talking about different types of poles or the features of poles or anything like that, okay? All we're talking about is how to use them. In other words, how to walk with them and pace yourself, how to go downhill, particularly over rough ground, and how to go uphill, particularly on very, very steep climbs, and how these should be used. The reason we're doing this is simply because I've seen dozens and dozens, and if not hundreds of people come past me on the trail, and they've got walking poles and they're not using them properly. They're just there in their hands. They're just kind of holding them and shuffling along. And then, as far as I'm concerned, you might as well just take these things and throw them away. And that goes for a lot of through hikers as well. You guys are all very proud of your weight and how effective you are, and that you're through hikers and not section hikers, and there's a lot of kudos and all that sort of thing. But you know, there's a lot of you guys that don't use these poles properly. So hopefully we can give you some tips today. Actually not tips, but good solid technique of how you should be using these poles. Okay, any poles, trekking poles. So the first thing we're going to look at is, not that it makes any difference, but just so you know, I've got a pair of Lecky, I think they're called the Vario, and they're carbon fiber. They basically split down like that. So rather than being telescopic, they come apart, and so they split into three. So they're really good for travel. Again, I'm not going to go through specifications and that, because that's not what we're doing today, but I'm just letting you know what we've got in terms of what type of pole we've got. The Lecky system is brilliant because they've got the most important bit of the pole is this strap, and I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about the strap. Okay, firstly we're going to look at how to adjust your poles. What kind of height do you want for your poles? So some people, they talk about, particularly manufacturers, they talk about, you know, you go up a hill, you shorten your pole, you go down a hill, you lengthen your pole. I would suggest, it's just a suggestion, I'm not telling anyone, you try yourself and work out what's going to work for you, but I would suggest you don't need to do any of that, okay? But you need a basic height setting. Now, the general rule is that when you're standing straight up, you put your pole down, your arm should be at 90 degrees. So it should be parallel to the ground, and the arm at 90 degrees, parallel. And as you can see, my pole is significantly shorter. When I hold my pole, my arm's at a, I don't know, 20-degree angle, give or take. And that's a personal choice. That's just, I prefer them a little bit shorter, alright? Because it gives me a longer range of motion, and for me, I'm able to use the poles a lot better and more effectively. Alright? Some people will have them up here, and some people might even have them long. It's entirely up to you. It's what works for you. And of course, if you're very tall, you've got long arms, or you're very short, you've got short legs, whatever the case is, that's going to affect your adjustment. You find your sweet spot, what works for you. For me, it's a bit shorter. Okay? So, why do we use trekking poles? You see a lot of people here, we're in the UK, and a lot of people in the UK, you see them with trekking poles, and then, you know, they're day walkers, they elderly people just out for a day hike, and they've got their poles and they're shuffling along, and they treat these walking poles like a walking stick. It's not a walking stick, these are walking poles. And like you would use them for skiing or for snowshoeing or anything like that, we use them for pretty much the same reasons in hiking and trekking. We use them for predominantly to take the load off your knees and your hips and your back, and I suppose to some extent your shoulders. Not so much your shoulders, because that's got more to do with your back, but certainly your hips and definitely your knees. Okay, so for me, I use these to pace. So when I'm walking on a flat, I'm feeling good, I can just pace myself. If I'm walking on a flat and I get tired, I start to push off on these poles. If I'm climbing up a hill, same thing. It paces me, but also just I'm able to put a lot of weight and pressure on these poles, which takes it off my knee. Particularly my left knee is starting to go quite badly, and my right is just starting to kick in. All right. And then of course coming downhill, it takes the weight and the pressure off the knees, but also supports you when you're coming down the hill, so that you don't freaking fall. Okay. And that doesn't mean you don't fall. I've fallen over standing stationary. I did that. I lost my balance. My pec pulled me over, and I fell over like an idiot. Poles. It does happen. Generally, they are very good for stability. Now, I hear different people quote different things. Some people say this will take 10% pressure off your body. Some people say 20, 30, 40. I hear all these different figures. For me, I reckon it depends on the time of the day. Like now, when I'm fresh early in the morning, it's probably only about 5%, if that. Once I'm sort of through to the 2/3 of the hike, 3/4 of the hike, and I start coming back and I'm tired, having carried the load all day long, my feet are aching, my knees are sore, then probably it's taking 30, 40%. And I really use these poles, so for me, it probably takes quite a bit of pressure off. Okay? So, what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you very quickly how the straps work. Now, all poles have a different strap system. So if you look at these are black diamond, I believe, black diamond, yeah?
Yep.
So these are black diamonds. They've got a different strap system. I'm not sure how these adjust. These are my colleagues, Rebecca, she's behind the camera at the moment, but they are adjustable and they're slightly thicker. They're a bit more padded as well. The Lecky straps, and again you get all sorts of different straps, are very simple. They're very, very thin material, and they're easy to adjust. So I'll show you how these adjust, just so that you know. And this is important, because if you can get a system that is quick and easy to adjust, particularly when you've got gloves on, that's fantastic. So these are set for me now to get my hand in like that. Okay, so that's perfectly set. If I had to put gloves on, I'd have to stretch them out a little bit and make them a bit bigger. Okay, so to adjust these, all I do is I take this strap here, the top strap, and I just pull it up and it unlocks it there. Okay, that's unlocked. And then all I do is I take the extra bit at the bottom that's not part of the loop, and then I just pull it to make it smaller, or I take the bottom part of the loop and pull it to make it larger. When I'm finished, I take that top strap again and I pull it down and it's locked. Dead simple. Okay, so if you're a complete idiot, it's idiot proof. Right, so that's the adjustment system. The reason I'm showing you this is because get poles that are easy to adjust your straps. Okay, the most important part of, one of the most important parts of a walking pole, a hiking pole, is the fact that you've got straps. And you'll see people, some top people in the game, particularly the ultra light hikers, they say cut these straps off, because the idea is that if you fall over, you can drop your strap and use your hands. And that's a fair point. If you use these properly and you use the strap properly, which I'm going to show you in a second, then you can let go of your pole. If you fall over, you can let go of your pole and you can still put your hand down flat without breaking fingers or injuring fingers. Okay? But do not cut off your straps. Okay, that's important, and that is integral to the use, the correct use of your pole. Without these straps, you're kind of screwed. All right. So, how do you use your straps? One of the mistakes I see people make all the time is they don't think about how they use the straps. The straps are just there to secure their pole, and that's not what the straps are for at all. What you often see is people just take the hand and they put it through from the top, and they grab it like that. Well, if you do that, your strap's doing nothing for you. Okay, it's not going to help you at all. It just gets in the way. It's irritant. The way you're supposed to use these straps correctly, and this is important, folks, please pay attention, because very few people do it. Your hand goes in from the bottom up through the strap, around the wrist, and then your hand comes down over the handle. So what you can see now is you can see the strap is nice and tight around my hand. And what that means is if I push the pole down into the ground and I let go of the pole, I can still push down. Okay? And now I don't have to grip the pole. All I've got to do is use my forefinger and my thumb, and all I do is just squeeze it a little bit, my hand's open, and I can still walk. I can still put pressure on there. If I needed to put this up on a boulder or on a sand dune or anything, actually let's come over here. If I wanted to climb up here, a little bit of a slope, there, because I'm not using my hand, I'm using the strap. Put it down, get my weight on there and push myself up. Hands open. Okay? So how is that? I'm not saying you have to have your hand open, I'm just trying to prove a point here. Obviously when you do that your hand's going to be closed, but the point I'm trying to make is that all that pressure, that downward pressure, is not on your hand, it's on the strap. It's on the strap and it's on those points there. So that's why don't buy cheap shit poles, buy good quality poles. Lecky is a great brand. By the way, just for the record, we're not paid by Lecky, we're not sponsored by Lecky, we don't get any gear from Lecky, we don't get any discounts or reductions from Lecky or any other manufacturer. We pay for all of our stuff and we pay full price, okay? So we're not promoting anybody here. I'm just saying my choice is Lecky. It always has been because it's good quality. They do all the top skiers and biathlon athletes and so forth. So they're good poles. So that's the trick with the harness, the little sling here, okay, the strap. Hands through the bottom, and if you've got it adjusted right, it perfectly fits around your wrist, and you've got all that pressure is on the strap and not your hand. Why don't you want the pressure on your hand? Well, I'm a professional sea kayaker, and what we do in kayaking is we try to take as much pressure off our wrists as we can by doing good torso rotation and a nice loose grip. And we use the same principle, forefinger and thumb. That's it. Your hands can be open, all right? Working hard on a rough trail all day long, if you're on the Appalachian and you're going up hills and you're working, doing altitude and going up rough ground, then your wrists are going to get sore because your hands are, you're in a fist, you've got the tension on your tendons in your wrist here, and you'll get tendinitis or repetitive strain disorder or some sort of other injury, okay? So that is really key. So how do you apply that now to walking on the flat, and how do you apply that to walking on a decline, and how do you apply that to going uphill? Okay, so I'm going to show you how we're going to walk on a flat and how these work for you on a flat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stop and we're going to break, we're going to go further down the trail, get into a different environment, we're a bit exposure, I'm getting cold, and then we're going to work on inclines and declines before we finish up the video, okay? I'll show you a little tip though. I've dropped my pole on the ground, and rather than bending down with a big pack on my back, I can just, and my basket's a bit muddy, I can just stick it into the strap, lift it up without bending over. So that's a really handy tip, alright? It's far better than having to bend down with a big pack on my back. Okay, again, with this pole, hands through the bottom, like so, and then down over the strap, and you can see how the strap is around my hand. Okay, so come down here. Now what I notice, a lot of people when they walk, they sort of, the kind of poles are doing this and they're all over the place, right? They're very inconsistent. What you're basically doing is you're taking a step forward and your poles are matching it, okay? Wherever you're comfortable. And as you're taking that step forward, that pole is a kind of 40-45 degree angle as you take that step forward there. And you're pushing off with your hand, using that strap. You can see my hand's open, using that strap, okay? Of course your hands are not open when you're doing it, and that's the motion there. It's a nice consistent motion. The way to get used to it is very simple. If you just walk normally, swinging your arms, without using your poles, keep your poles up, just swing your arms, okay? And then while you're swinging your arms, once you got used to that, then just put your poles onto the ground and keep going. So here I'm walking, swinging my arms, comfortable. Now put the poles on the ground, and there's no difference. I'm just walking with the poles, and I can lift the poles back up again, and it's just normal walking. Poles back down, normal walking, and you notice the angle that the pole's at. Okay, it's quite a steep angle, 40-45 degrees, and it's quite a long way back. All right. Now that's just my style, but that's a good guide to walk to, and give it a try and see what works for you. Okay. Final point that I want to make is when you're walking on a flat, why do we have poles? Well, it does two things. One, it does give you support. So as I said earlier, when I'm coming back and I'm tired and I'm sore, I use the poles to actually push me along, and I'm probably taking, I don't know, as a guesstimate, anything from 15 to probably 40% of the stress off my body, maybe more. I mean, I really work my arms. I've got strong arms, I've got strong shoulders, and I can really work those muscles, which would normally just be flapping around next to me. So that's one thing. The other thing it does is it paces me. So when I'm walking, that whole movement there paces me, and I can slow down the pace if I want to, or I can pick it up. And if I, need to step over anything, I can step forward and I can climb over stuff, and I can go through things like that. And all the time, I've got my poles ready to catch me if I fall. Now, they won't always catch you when you fall, but they're there. It's better than nothing. It's like having four pairs of arms. And I suppose, yeah, 4 arms really. So I hope that makes sense. I'm standing here, I'm looking out to sea, and I've just seen a seal. It's just disappeared below the sea. You won't see him now. It's just off the beach here. Probably just scavenging along. The tide's out or going out. It's nice and shallow, and they're looking for sand eels. Okay, so it's not Nomad out yet. We're going to continue the video on a little bit further down the trail, and we'll see you in probably about an hour's time. Alright, see you then. So we've done all of the walking on the flat stuff, and we've looked at the strap and how that works. Hand through the bottom and hand over the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate. There's a little hill here. People say that the sort of basic advice is that you shorten your pole in order to go uphill. That's a pain in the backside to have to do that. So I don't really bother. I use the poles in the same way, still hand in from the bottom of the strap, in up over the from the bottom, and then hand over the top of the handle with the strap around you. And I'm still putting all my weight on that strap. Okay, you can see I'm just using my forefinger and my thumb to hold the pole. All the weight is on that strap. And if I'm going up the hill, there's a little hill here, walking along, it's the same thing. It's no different. I'm using the pole in exactly the same way, okay? If I go down the bottom, demonstrate again, I've still got the pack on my back. I'm carrying a good 19 kilos on my back, so it's quite a bit of weight. So I'm walking along, and I just use the pole as normal to pull myself up, because it's not a very steep bank, okay? So you don't need to change your poles. You're simply doing exactly the same thing. You're coming in, pole goes into the ground, and you're putting all your weight on that strap to there. So I'm not using my hand, I'm using the strap to pull down, to take that pressure off my knees. Hiking poles have a sort of ball or kind of knob kind of shape. This is lecky again. This is what they have at the top. It's fairly rounded, and that's so your hand can cup the top, okay? So when you're going downhill, you still have the same grip. Your hand still comes through the bottom of the strap and over the top, so the strap is secured. So that way you can put the pressure on the strap. But now all you're doing is you're going down a hill. You're walking up to the hill, or up to the slope, coming up, seeing the slope, and then just immediately changing your hands to the top. So if you come in closer, you can see I've just moved from there, that position there, and I've just slid my hands to the top. I haven't changed the strap or anything, and now I'm gripping the top of the pole. So that way all my weight can go on the top of the pole. And now what I do is very carefully, I've basically got, rather than just 2 legs, I've got 4 legs. So I can get pole down, I can even feel the ground if it's firm, step down, and step down. When you've got a big pack like mine on your back, the last thing you want to be doing is jumping off rocks and jumping around things, even if you are 20. I know enough 22-year-olds who've been hopping down elevations over rocks and stuff like that, and the next day their knees are shot. Okay, so don't do it. Your knees are the same as everyone else's, regardless of your age. So again, going uphill on a flat, just to summarize, on a flat, it's just pacing along and off you go. Okay. Hands through the strap at the bottom, a good grip from the top with the strap supporting your hand. Coming to an uphill, it's no different. You can just go straight up the hill, slow down a little bit, and off you go. Coming to a elevation, going downhill, come up to the downhill, move your hands to the top of the poles, and then carefully step down. And then from there, you can go straight back into normal walking. There's no changes made to the length, and there's no changes made to how you use the strap. Now, if we come up here, I have a high step. Let's say this was, I don't know, a rock, and I'm trying to climb up, and I have had this where I've had a bank about 1 meter high, soft sandy bank, lots of vegetation, and the only thing I could do was to take my pack off and climb up the bank and then pull my pack up after me. And what I ended up doing was I just climbed up with the pack on my back using my poles. But now we make a change. So what I'm going to do, see if that stays upright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen my strap, and I'm going to take it down as long as I can. Now there's a caveat here. You can see I've taken it down as long as I can. I'll lock it off, so that strap, that loop is as big as I can make it. Now every manufacturer is different. Your strap system is different with every manufacturer, so how far you can get this, some people might have a huge loop. I mean, use your discretion. It just doesn't have to be that big. That's as far as I can take it with the lecky. And so now what I do is, instead of putting my hand in from the bottom up and then over the top of the handle, what I'm doing is I'm just doing straight from the bottom, and below here you can see how the handle has been extended. So I've got the main rubberized grip there, and with a lot of poles it's cork, and it's extended down quite a way down. Sorry, just noticed my poles are open. It's extended quite a long way down, and that there is part of the handle. So now what I do is I take my hand from the top straight down into the strap. It's around my wrist, and I grip that part, or any part that's going to suit on your pole. If it's metal, that's fine, it's metal. What you can do is you can put some hockey tape around the metal. That'll give you some grip, and it'll also make it a bit warmer in winter time. But for the leckies, I don't have to do that. So that's now the shape of the pole. You can see there's tension on the strap around my wrist, supporting my wrist. Okay? I won't, actually I will do it on both. I'll do it on this one again. You may as well come in and have a look at it again. So I'll open it up, put it all the way down as far as I can, so it's extended as far as it can go. Hand comes in from the top, goes down, straight down, and sits. So it's supported, the strap is around my wrist, supported on my wrist, and my hand is on that bottom section of the handle. The same thing here. And now what I can do is I can put that pole on that high object, and instead of using my wrists, I can just pull down on that strap. You can see all the tension is going down that way, straight down like that on that strap. Okay, I'm not having to pull down using my fist. I'm not having to grip hard and pull down and put all that tension on my tendons in my wrist. All I'm doing, I don't even have to hold it again. It's just forefinger and thumb, just on there. I don't even have to grip it really. I can just hold it there, just so that I don't lose the pole. Okay, and right there, I put the pole up there, and I put all that tension onto that strap. I can, and do the same on the other hand. I can then put all that pressure and take that pressure off my knee, because that knee, that one joint is going to take my 95 kilos plus the 18 kilos or 19 kilos that I've got in my pack. It's well over 100 kilos. Okay, kilograms. It's a lot of weight. It's a lot of pressure, all on that one knee. So I'm now alleviating that pressure by, I don't know, 20%, 30%, different estimates. You work out yourself. But for me, it's a big plus. I can now put those poles down and pull myself up. And all that pressure is on the pole. From there, I can just go straight into that position. Or if I've got to make another climb up, there might be another climb, might be up here, and I might have to put my foot up there and do the same thing again. Okay? If I turn around, I'm going to go down. I'll move my hands to the top of the poles there, holding the round knob bits at the top. Turn around, put them down on the ground, and step down. Okay? I'm not jumping down, I'm not hopping down. You can do that, but you're going to just hurt yourself. Okay? So I hope that answers your questions about poles. There's lots of uses for these things. You can use them for tent poles. Good morning. Good morning. You can use them for tent poles, particularly tarps. Ultralighters use these things for poles. You can use them to wash your clothes, dry your clothes.
Dead
You
man
can
anchors.
use them to, you can use them for dead man anchors. That's what we do in the snow. Dead man anchors, you can either just slide them down telescopically. These ones don't slide in, but I can still put a guy line around them and bury them in the snow. Okay, usually about a foot down, and act as dead man anchors. So there's all sorts of uses for poles other than just walking. But give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, fine, but I think if you're just clacketing along down the road with your poles and not using them properly, you may as well just take them and just throw them away and just don't bother, alright, because you don't need them. They're a waste of space. If you use your poles properly, they will take off a lot of pressure off your knees and off your back and so forth. And the hike that we've just done, or that we're doing, is a long hike. We're doing it at quite a strong pace, over 3 miles an hour. 15 to 17 miles, and with a big weight as well, and over fairly rough ground, and so the poles are for me personally, they're really, really important. They take a lot of pressure off my body, and they really, really do help. If it doesn't work for you, fine, do your own thing, but I can guarantee, if not all of those 3 techniques, but at least some of that stuff, if you can augment that into your hikes, it's gonna help. Again, thumbs up or thumbs down. If you've got anything to add to that, please do. This is all about you, the viewers. This is for you. This is technical stuff to help you, and I'm just trying to share my experience with you guys. If you think it's crap, that's fine. You want to put a thumbs down, that's fine, but back it up, please. You know, we're on YouTube. We've got a website, www.nomadseakayaking.co.uk, and a Facebook page as well, Nomad Sea Kayaking. So by all means, please, any photographs, any comments, all helpful. We're just trying to build a little bit of community and put something back in. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next little adventure. Nomad out. Okay, so we've done the flat walking, the pacing and so forth. We've come along another hour and a half into our walk, and stop because someone's coming along and going to fuck up.